morning to you, lovely listeners of GhanaTalks Radio. It's a cloudy Wednesday morning, and you are welcome to the morning show right here on GhanaTalks Radio. This is your favorite online radio station, the only online radio station you can carry along wherever you go. Remember that you're streaming live on YouTube at GhanaTalks Radio and also on X at GhanaTalks Radio. Do all to log on, send in your comments. Let's get interactive right here on the morning show. This is the first segment of the morning show, and this is the news review. And right here, we bring you all the relevant stories making waves in the news, from business to politics, from sports to entertainment. We got you covered with the most relevant stories and informed perspectives on issues that matter to you every morning right here on the show. This is your morning companion, and I am your host, Ruth Esenam Fiekbedu. And I'm doing this with Miss Regina Bless and Miss Tapiadoso, and a whole lot of activities. Let me not say activities. There's a whole lot of news, a whole lot of headlines, and a story this morning, and we just can't wait to feed you all. Good morning to you, Miss Regina. And you're welcome to the GhanaTalks Breakfast Show.
Good morning.
How are you doing?
I'm good by grace, your side.
I'm doing great. I see you are very energetic this morning. And when the weather is cloudy, they are supposed to be calm, reserved, and you know, just minding your business. But I see you are so energetic. I'm wondering what. But the king is a didn't come. She didn't. Some people have already planned out their breakfast. And unfortunately,
maybe by the end of the show, then she's in.
Because the king has to come on.
It has to come.
Yeah.
Hey.
Miss Regina has said what she would like to have for breakfast. What are you also having for breakfast this early morning? Looking at the weather and how it is demanding for, you know, some succulent and something soft and hot as well. What are you having for breakfast? But before you have the main breakfast, we are here to, you know, feed you with breakfast. You should get abreast with what is happening in the country. A whole lot of events is happening. A whole lot of news stories are flying in the skies. Just as Afenyo wanted some people to hang in the air yesterday, asking the interior minister that the people that you say they should stay at home, no, their house are already flooded. Where should they be? And I read the comment section. I was like, "Kwe." The people that are doing NPP, they are wearing kambu ampa, as Mr. Dubik said. And Miss Regina, I saw that I posted that and you reacted to it.
It's should I say it's really annoying to. I'm trying to be very reserved and disciplined and disrespectful about my comments, because I feel like as a leader you need to really think ahead. You need to be smart when it comes to your thinking. But looking at what the NPPs are doing, I'm quite surprised. So what were they expecting the the interior minister to do? To go carry these people on his backs, or to find a place for them? Or to what? In fact, I think I will say that one is much better. And I think aside the NPP, someone also made a target to A+. And you know A+. A+ is someone who you wouldn't want to mess with. So the person was like, and this is the time where we need our minister, A+, come and do something. The entertainment is too much. Come and do something. And A+ didn't take it lightly with him. He was like, what do you mean? There's a way you can actually communicate without, excuse me to say, sounding stupid. That was what A+ said. And he said, is the person trying to tell him that he should go to heaven and turn the book at Neza to stop the rains? And he was like, if the past president did the same thing, he actually wanted to help, but people insulted him, people cursed him. He should be the same person to do this again, so that people will start insulting and cursing him and his family. If they say they want to demolish buildings on waterways, these people will go up, hold God's leg, and come down again and curse everybody. Just look at recently. Oh, if I don't know. Either if they demolish some people's structures, a certain woman or in Crane, Obojao, Oboja papa. Now I found a twano, a create a twano, a jar to form. I say, hey, much lebi. Kumasi, it's becoming too much. See what they did to the Kumasi mayor.
I see that.
See what they did to him.
And this is for the betterment of everybody.
Exactly. Why are you even in a waterway in the first place? Because you're obstructing the water that wants to come. You're obstructing it. We understand that certain areas in the whole in Siomodeda, and even when you check some of these houses in Sofifi as here, that one I was say you tumo. Also mutuomo. This is not the time to politicize it. So the minority leader, you should stop what he's saying, else you remain in opposition forever and ever.
Yeah, and one thing I said was, must they oppose everything? Because
their minds are in opposition.
Because I remember when the interior minister said, you should stay in the house. You shouldn't come. He said, if you've not yet left your house, stay in your house. And if your house is already flooded, and there are emergency lines there that you can call. If it is NADMO, the fire service, you can call any of the numbers for help. But if you don't stay in your house, where will you stay? Where will you stay? Assuming they built the cathedral, maybe they would have come some people there. Maybe they would have.
But the place is already flooded, so they can't even pass their way through it. See the number of people that died, the number of people that are still missing.
Yeah.
And the rain is to rain. Just this morning it's drizzling.
It's drizzling.
And they are telling us that we should, from tomorrow till Sunday, we should be experiencing more heavy rains.
More heavy rains. So that should tell you that in this coming weeks, in this coming days, there's going to be a lot of rain. For the flooding, this morning is all about flooding. That is all I see on my timeline. That is all I see on my FYP. Flooding. So I think that we will talk about it a lot till we see a change. And we are hoping that, God willing, next year, we don't sit here again and speak about the same issue. Right, on the issue of flooding, let's get into it. Akufo-Addo government invested over 550 million Ghana cedis in flood control project. The Director of Communications of the New Patriotic Party, Richard Ahiagba, says the Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo administration invested more than 550 million Ghana cedis in flood control projects aimed at reducing flooding in Accra. According to Ahiagba, the investment covered drainage construction, drainage rehabilitation, the silting of gutters and rivers, emergency flood response, and other engineering works in flood-prone communities. He also highlighted the Greater Accra Resilient and Integrated Development (GARID) project, a $200 million World Bank supported project designed to reduce flooding in the Odo River Basin through improved drainage, waste management, and community infrastructure. And Ahiagba said several projects, including drainage works at Achimota Abofu, South Kaneshi, the Buzia Highway, and the drenching of the Odo River, were already underway before the change of government. He also mentioned completed flood protection works at Atomic East and plans for detention ponds at Atomic East and West. He further stated that the previous administration introduced a flood early warning system to improve disaster preparedness in vulnerable communities. And he argued that the current National Democratic Congress administration inherited ongoing projects, funding, contractors, and implementation plans. He alleged that many of these projects have slowed down and called on the government to explain why. The current government has not, in the statement, responded to these allegations. They represent the views of the NPP Communications Director. So this is coming from Richard Ahiagba. As he mentioned, the Greater Accra Resilient and Integrated Development, where the World Bank invested about $200 million into that project in to be able to reduce flooding, and the purpose was to drench the Odo River and also construct and desilt some gutters. But as it stands now, we have not seen the results, Mr. Richard Anyagba. So we are asking, where did the money go, and how has the project been so far? Ms. Regina, what's your reading into what Anyagba is saying?
So 550 million Ghana
cedis
to make sure that they control the flood, or they initiated a project to help solve flooding. It's a good thing, but as he said, we are not seeing any results. They just left power just recently, and yes, I say 1 year or 2 years now, we move and shut down just recently. So in as much as during their time we were facing flooding issues, but it looks like this time around it's more severe, and it is more severe because of our own irresponsible behavior. This has nothing to do with the government, and in as much as maybe probably a little bit of it would have to do with the government when it comes to constructing drainage systems and other projects that would help curb your friend is saying flooding, I think we need to start blaming ourselves. And also to Mr. Anyagba, he needs to come out and tell us where exactly, almost saying Odo River.
Also Odo River and Atomic East and West, they are creating a flood detention area there.
Now, I hope flooding is.
He mentioned the Sultan of Gata, South Kaneshi, and some areas as well, the Buzia Highway.
The Sultan of Gates with this Kaneshi issue, we went there, was it last week, and some of these people were complaining. They said, I actually didn't see any open gutter in Kaneshi, but they made us aware that they have underground underground gutters and in faho. And I was like, so right now saying faho, why is Kaneshi always flooded? And they were like, there's no maintenance going on. So if just last 2 years or last 3 years or 4 years they were able to distill all these gutters, then why is Kaneshi especially still experiencing flooding? That aside, they also made an example to the Kuman Accra Academy environment.
That area.
Yes, they said that's where most of these waters are coming from. And if truly that is where most of these waters are coming from, say you want underground gutters, I want to say insunefa.
Exactly.
So adena insune enfa ho. So it means that place is still choked. The main reason why certain areas are experiencing flooding is because of choked gutters. Malam Junction, for example, it has a huge drainage system, very huge one. Baobekono, bola, sand. It has in fact cemented the entrance of the drainage system. And there's nothing they can do about it until the right authorities go there and clear all that block parts. Just recently, during the first rain that caused flooding, bus stop boys went there. And I don't know how far with the issue, whether they were able to clear that part. That thing is not something, a number of like, your friend is saying, manpower 5, 6, 7, 8 can do. They need machines to clear all that part because it is choked. Acquire concrete, no, it is very choked.
Very choked.
So with Mr. Anyagba, probably they really invested, but we are not really seeing the impact of it. People are still complaining about flooding. Places are still being flooded. And where he's even talking about, so more invested, that place is being flooded.
Which is the
Odo.
Yeah.
Odona. And other environments. So where did the money really pass? I said National Cathedral there. And why didn't you hear anything about this? Akoya say BBC in the other administration and the opposition will start bringing up things according to them they've done, but we are not really seeing it. And I believe that if they had done it, if they have announced, we would have seen and heard of it. Did you hear of it during the administration?
No,
I didn't really hear anything.
This issue was actually brought to light when we heard about the Cecilia Dapa issue, where he stated that
she was the sanitation minister.
She was the sanitation minister, where they mentioned that some amount of money was invested to drench the Odo River, but we didn't see anything.
Made for
Yeah. So if Richard Ahiagba is saying that over 550 million Ghana cedis was invested in flood control, why does Accra still continue to experience severe flooding? And just as Ms. Regina has stated, it's not like the previous administration left power, let's say like 5 years ago, but they left power about 18 months ago. And if proper works have been done, if proper desilting have been done, if proper actions were being taken, we wouldn't be experiencing it as severe as it is, as we are seeing it now. But looking at it, it looks like it was a shoddy work that was done.
Was it even done in the first place?
In the first place, that should be the question we should be asking. So another problem that I've also noticed is that when they desilt the gutters, they leave the sand or what they've collected from the gutter by the gutter. And then when it rains again, the rain washes it away again or put it back into the gutter. Why should that be the case? If you cannot collect it, then leave it in the gutter, because that's a cost 90 log 10 job that they are doing over there. Seriously. Because if you cannot collect the rubbish from the gutter, maybe you get a car or a boboya, once you collect it and then you put it straight into the boboya and go and dispose it. But you rather collect it and leave it by the gutter, and when it rains, it takes it back into the gutter or washes it away somewhere else. Now, what is the essence of desilting? Then leave it there.
Most of these sands are not even disposed. They are taken to some areas that lacks sand. Normally, they are fairly a hole. So most of the times, people utilize that gutter sand a lot.
Yeah.
So especially School Junction, when you get there, the sand was just there, heaped. There may be a gutters, and your friend said they still the gutters, and that sand, as you are saying, was packed right behind the gutter. In fact, right behind the road where cars are passing there. So just imagine, just recently, the water will take all this sand away and go and flood at another place again. Now, when you go to School Junction, you wouldn't see the tarred road. It is only sand you'll be seeing. And I hear no more say go on and
can't it be used for building?
It can be used
or something.
It can be used because it is sand.
So government should bring up a policy or something. If there should be a particular place, they should be dumping the sand. If there's a project going on in a community, you can go and fetch that sand. You don't necessarily have to go and buy a car truck of sand again. If you ask me, I think that will do us a lot of good. If we should adopt certain policies and put some measures in place to be able to do this, to reduce flooding in some communities and in some areas. Right, let's proceed to our next news item. Government to demolish buildings on 6 wetlands to curb flooding. The government says it will demolish buildings that have been built on 6 wetlands in Accra as part of urgent efforts to reduce flooding and restore the city's natural drainage systems. The announcement follows the recent devastating floods on Monday, June 29th, which reportedly caused loss of lives, displaced thousands of households, and affected many communities across the Greater Accra region. The Deputy Minister for Works, Housing and Water Resources, Gisela Tete, told Parliament that restoring the wetlands is necessary to help control flood waters in the capital. She explained that wetlands were originally designed to act as natural water retention areas, helping to absorb excess rainfall and reduce flooding in surrounding communities. According to her, years of encroachment on these wetlands have reduced the ability to restore water, causing rapid runoff and worsening flood situations in Accra. She stressed that government will take firm action to reclaim the affected areas, even if it involves demolishing structures built on the wetlands. She also noted that some individuals who sold wetlands lands should seek to recover their money. Go and take back your money. Those that they sold wetlands lands to you, she's saying that these individuals should go and recover their money. Go and take your money. Yeah. As the state will reclaim the areas for their intended environmental purposes. Government says the demolition exercise, alongside better planning and funding for drainage systems, forms part of a long-term strategy to reduce flooding and protect lives and property. So 6 areas, government is set to demolish buildings on 6 wetlands to curb flooding. My problem is, when you're buying the lands, don't you ask questions? Don't you survey? Don't you look before and after? How is the area? How is the area now? Have you tried to monitor the land, how it is when it's in a raining season? There are certain things you actually have to do as a home buyer or as a land buyer. If you are buying lands, the sellers, they are interested in getting their money, so they will not be interested to be honest with you and tell you the truth. But what they want is their money, so they will sell their lands to you. I think that is very important that we educate ourselves, we learn ourselves, we do proper research when we are going to buy lands, to make sure that the land you are buying is not a wetland, because these wetlands have their purposes, they have their objective. So if you go and take their role or their place, they will make sure they will also do whatever it takes to dominate your house as well. Ms. Regina, so this is what government is intending to do to reduce flooding.
So I would say this is an issue. There are certain issues that shouldn't be pampered and tolerated. When it comes to Ghanaians, excuse me to use this word, Ghanaians are goats. You see their ears. It's just like goats. Very stubborn set of human beings. And looking at this wetlands, as you mentioned, wetlands are there to be able to absorb water. Any flood that will come, to be able to absorb it. And see, I thought that Obeko area be no tia, like in some point or about Tiamupe, one say, a higher mure, chofu. That's how wetlands are. But Ghanaians, because of first of their stinginess, their greediness, and at the foodie painting, they would buy that land and construct a building. And the worst part of it is they don't even construct the building in a more sensible way. Such areas doesn't need a low foundation. It really needs a high foundation. And after building that high foundation with your building, then you find a suitable way. Baby, your friends in so a befa. Don't not do it. Omo gota. Omo gotters no so omo ya gota tia. Sa gota no o de yeden. You see the gutter right here? It is normal for an area like this. This is a kind of gutter designed for areas that are not flood prone. But when you go to areas that are flood prone, when you go to Antioku, you see the gutter there? Yeah. That's the kind of gutters they need to construct in areas that are flood prone, so that easy access of flow would be easy access of flow of water. Yeah. And to the issue of the minister telling them to go and take their money,
that should tell you that government is in no position
would compensate
to compensate you. So go and take your money.
See, that land, no, I feel like it's not expensive, because some of these landlords, they know perfectly well. Say, baby, more ton asasiyama enye. In some beton, for. That that is the issue. And this is why you need to make sure that you buy from real estate developers. Because no institution that has the name real estate developer who sell lands, buildings, homes, and what have you, will send a water prone or flood prone area to you. They will never do that because their institution is at risk. Some of these people will even go as far as saying that no events and litigation free. It's not man so. So, but what the minister is saying, I don't know. This one is bam.
Go and take your money.
Bam. No two ways about it. Go and take your money. Because very
money.
soon that areas will be demolished.
They'll be demolished.
And there's nothing you can do about it. I always say that when it comes to leadership, leadership means taking bitter pills on behalf of the people. And even though you are taking that bitter pill on behalf of the people, these people will still turn around and lambast you. But gidigbam, stay strong.
You have to stay strong.
Do you think that John Dramani Mahama is not going through it? He's going through it. The video that he went about scouting the area, you could see the pain on his face. You could see it. In fact, it wasn't
it's like you failed your people.
Exactly. That was how he was feeling. He felt so disappointed. And people will be like, Soon Mahama, soon.
But a lot. When it comes to the demolition of certain structures, one thing I've also observed is that when these buildings are being demolished, the agencies that are responsible for demolishing those buildings, afterwards, why don't they hurriedly collect the debris, as in the area that you've demolished, the blocks, then they leave it there. Then when it rains, then it gets stuck. It doesn't flow freely. That is another thing that we have to look at. If you say that place is in a waterway or it's a wetland and you've demolished the building, once you demolish the building, what is the essence of you demolishing the building? Is to allow the free flow of water. So now you have demolished the building. What then do you do to the debris? Collect them. Why then do we have to leave it there for how many like for how long is it going to be there for you to leave it there? So I think that is one thing that government equally has to look at. There was a building that was demolished recently, I think at Aveno, and people were saying thank you or commending the Accra Regional Minister for doing such a great job, because right after that building was demolished, you wouldn't even know a building was demolished there, because immediately the debris were collected. So I think that is one thing that the government equally has to look at. Recently, Ms. Debbie and I did a reporting at Makati Hill, where that particular place is a wetland, is used to retain water, and that place has been turned into a dumping site. So the whole flooding, the severe flooding we are seeing in Makati, is as a result of that area being used as a dump site. Because once the water flows down from the mountains, it's supposed to go into that valley, and that area is supposed to retain the water. But that place has been turned into a dump site. So where do you expect the water to go? They will definitely come into your homes. So as citizens, we have a role to play. The government equally has a role to play. It's a collective responsibility. We all have to come together to be able to fight it. So you do it, you scratch my back, I scratch your back. If you don't want the water to come into your room, make sure you do the right thing. Now, away from flooding, there's an issue going on in South Africa. And yesterday was a deadline given to all let me say foreigners, those who are not citizens of South Africa, to leave their country. Stay indoors, evacuation set for next week, Ghana Mission tells citizens in South Africa. The Ghana High Commission in South Africa has advised Ghanaian citizens living in South Africa to stay indoors and avoid unnecessary movements as authorities prepare for another evacuation exercise next week. According to the High Commission, the advisory is due to rising anti-immigrant tensions in parts of the country, where some groups have reportedly called for foreign nationals to leave by an unofficial deadline of June 30th, which was yesterday. And the Ghana High Commissioner to South Africa, Benjamin Kwashi, urged Ghanaians to remain in designated safe accommodations such as churches and hotels provided by the mission. He also advised citizens to avoid opening their shops and businesses during the period, stressing that security arrangements have been made with South African police to protect Ghanaian nationals in safe locations. He assured that another reparation exercise will be carried out next week for citizens who have registered for evacuation, with details to be communicated later. The High Commission noted that the situation remains under monitoring and called for calm while coordination continues with local authorities. The advisory comes as tension linked to anti-immigrant sentiments have increased in some areas, leading many foreign nationals to seek safer shelter or return to their home countries. The government of Ghana has already evacuated several citizens to earlier phases of the operation as part of efforts to ensure their safety and welfare. So the Ghana High Commissioner to South Africa, Benjamin Kwashi, is urging all Ghanaians in South Africa to remain indoors, stay indoors. And one funny thing is that if you people know what is happening in Accra, if you people know what is happening in Accra, you will stay where you are quietly. So he's urging all Ghanaians to stay indoors. Make sure you don't open your shop. This is not the time to go and be looking for money. Money is good, but at this juncture, your life is equally very, very important. If you make the money and you lose your life, who is going to spend that money for you? So the High Commissioner is saying that stay indoors, and there have been areas that are safe areas that has been, prepared, such as the hotels, the churches, and they've collaborated with South African police to make sure that Ghanaian citizens are protected there. So he's urging you that there's going to be a reparation or evacuation exercise coming up next week. So wherever you are, make sure you are safe. Don't go and open your shop. Don't go and be doing business. Allow the South Africans to do what they have to do, but make sure you stay indoors. Miss Eugenia, I thought you were down with South Africa, the go back people, but they are back again.
They themselves are back in their country.
They are back.
So, with this issue going on in South Africa, I wouldn't want to use the word disappointed, but we have no other words to use. I would say we are disappointed. If you are telling Africans to go back to their country, then what are you trying to say? It means that Africans are not one people. The notion that African people are one people is no longer there, because South Africans have made us aware that South Africa itself is an African country.
Mm-hmm.
And we, the people living there, we are Africans. So why are you now sucking your people, your own siblings? The only difference between the South Africans and any other African country is the language, their culture, and also, should I say, their origin. That is it. These three things are the only different thing. But aside that, we are one people. If we are putting enmity between both of us, or we are putting enmity between South Africans and all African countries, what signal are you giving to the other white people? In a way, you are giving advantage to these white people to even and disrespect us the more. These people know that, after all, they are not even united. They are not even one people. They'll come out and say, Africans are one people, but they are not one people. So I'm very disappointed. There are better ways to address these issues rather than these xenophobic attacks, rather than causing mayhem, rather than chaos and also assaulting each other. It's should I say it's disappointing and yeah, can you say?
And very appalling. Yeah, and sad.
Just imagine say wako unya fie na opam go. You feel so sad and feel stay in your home. But when it comes to development of a country, we should understand that the home people right there cannot develop their country. This Western world we are seeing, they did not develop their country by themselves. Ghanaians, South Africans, Zimbabwe, Malawians, all these South Africans came to, all these African countries came together to develop that country, because in every African country, there's either 5 people, 20 people, 100 people in every Western world. And those people are not just there doing nothing, they are working. If I'm selling my knowledge to you, am I not building your country? I'm building your country. I'm selling my expertise, whatever I know, I'm selling it to you. And at the end of the day, you pay me back in return. In Ghana, we have South Africans here, and we have a lot of South African companies. MTN is one of them. We have banks. We have this ABSA, this restaurant, big institutions in Ghana. Even though it is a South African company, 100% of all the workers there are Ghanaians. Why not go and bring the South African people to come and work in those companies? Why not do that rather? But no one is sacking these South Africans in this country. And I say, Anna Ralph, Okojina saying they should leave. They should leave. Who has sent you? See, we understand that we are heads, but once we pick the language of a fool, automatically you are also a fool. If you don't want to be a fool, be distinct from them. So the government, they say leave. What are you still doing there? The government brought options, flown a lot of people out of South Africa to our country. Why were they still there? I saw a video of one guy on the ship. I say, me, I'll never come back. I'll remain here. So you remain there. You die there too. They'll kill you.
It's a lot.
Because they are killing some people. Yeah. And I think some people are losing. Zimbabwe or Malawi. Yeah, some of them died. So just imagine the president of Ghana together with the foreign minister did not take this action. Like a lot of Ghanaians would have been dead there.
It's a lot, Miss Regina, it's a lot. And as they've said, evacuation will take place, God willing, next week. Right. So this is where we draw the curtains for the news review. Up next, we have Today in History with Miss Regina Bless.
Bringing you Today in History and some global observances live on GhanaTalks breakfast show. On this day, 1960, Ghana officially became a sovereign republic. Exactly 3 years after gaining its independence from British colonial rule, this milestone replaced the British monarch as the head of state and transitioned the nation into a presidential system. On this historic date, a new constitution was adopted, and Dr. Kwame Nkrumah was sworn in as Ghana's very first president. This shift in governance marked the country's complete self-determination, completely weaning it of colonial structures. So happy Republic Day to all Ghanaians. Canada established as a self-governing state. This was achieved when British North America Act went into effect, joining the colonies of Nova Scotia, New Brunswick, and the province of Canada, now Ontario and Quebec, to form the Dominion of Canada. The establishment of Canada as a self-governing entity involved several historical milestones. 2003, a 19-year-old hotel employee went to the local police in Colorado to file a sexual assault complaint against NBA star Kobe Bryant. She alleged that he assaulted her in his room at the lodge and spa in Cordillera the previous night. Following the police report and a subsequent forensic exam, Authorities arrested Bryant on July 4th, 2003. To some few global observances, we have Devotion to Duty Day, an annual observance dedicated to recognizing and celebrating unwavering commitment, loyalty, and responsibility. It honors individuals who consistently prioritize their obligations and execute their roles with integrity and perseverance. We also have International Joke Day. It marks the exact halfway point of the year and serves as a global reminder to share laughter, brighten spirits, and kick off the second half of the year with a smile. International Reggae Day. In a 24-hour global media and music festival held annually on this day to celebrate Jamaica's creative legacy. The event highlights reggae's cultural impact worldwide and its core messages of peace, unity, and social justice. So all DJs are obliged to give us reggae songs today. And lastly, and most importantly, National Financial Freedom Day. It serves as a dedicated reminder to evaluate your financial health, set long-term goals, and build sustainable wealth so you can afford the life you desire without relying solely on traditional employment. So learn how to be financially disciplined. Exactly. And that's all for today on Today in History and some global observances, live on GhanaTalks Breakfast Show.
Thank you so much, Miss Regina Bless, for Today in History and some observances of the day. Up next, we have Debbie's Grill.
Welcome to Debbie's Grill, where we talk about issues that matter to the state, void of politics, fear of favor. Former Vice President and the New Patriotic Party's 2028 presidential candidate, Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, has called on Ghanaians to put aside political differences and unite in addressing the devastating floods that have claimed lives and displaced hundreds across parts of the country. Speaking during a visit to some of the flood-affected communities in the Greater Accra region, Dr. Bawumia described the disaster as a national crisis that demands a collective action rather than partisan politics. According to him, the flood have left behind extensive destruction, displaced families, and claimed several lives, making it imperative for all stakeholders to work together in finding lasting solution. He stressed that the country's attention should be focused on addressing the flood crisis instead of engaging in partisan debate. He also appealed to relevant emergency agencies to work together in ensuring the swift recovery of victims and provide timely assistance to affected families. His comment comes in the aftermath of Monday's devastating flood, which followed a heavy downpour on June 29. The flooding, which severely affected Greater Accra and part of the country, claimed at least 12 lives, displaced thousands of residents, submerged homes and vehicles, disrupted businesses, and caused widespread traffic gridlock. So this is from the former Vice President and the flag bearer for the New Patriotic Party, Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia. He is calling for a collective action between all functions, residents, political parties, stakeholders, relevant authorities, so that we can fight flood. You see, flood issue is not something that should be buttressed with politics, if you ask me, because this is not an issue where you come and argue on who did what, who was supposed to do this, who didn't do that, right? This is the time where we sit down at the table, bring up solutions on how best we can solve this particular issue. Because trust me, we've lost a lot of lives. And if you listen to the Interior Minister yesterday, on the floor of Parliament, he said this is the first time in history since I think 1966 where something of this sort occurred. So it should tell you that this is a serious issue that needs to be taken seriously. This is not something where someone comes to say you're supposed to do this, you're supposed to do that. Your government is in power, so this is what we expect you to do. Like what I've seen with some particular political officials. If you want to do that, then we should be ready to lose a lot of life, people's properties to be destroyed. The more reason why we are saying that issues like this shouldn't be buttressed with politics is because it drives your attention from what you're supposed to pay attention to. It drives your focus from what is needed. So right now, this is the challenge in front of us. What do we do? How do we solve it? How do we prevent this from occurring? That is what we should be thinking about. One thing I've also realized here in Ghana is that the solution we bring on board is just for today. We don't think ahead. We don't think into the future. Because trust me, 10 or 5 years or 15 years to come, the population of Ghana will still increase. And so long as this is the capital town of Ghana, trust me, we are going to see worse than what we are seeing today. If we don't plan. And you see, that is the main reason why I kept saying that, so I wouldn't even go far. Let's take countries like Nigeria, for instance. Just like we have regions, they have estates. And what they do is that if this region, this is the capital town, say Accra is the capital town of Ghana, Accra is well developed, and then they realize that things are going on well here, what they do is that they transfer the capital from Accra to another region. And then they make sure that that region is well developed. Then they transfer the capital from that region to another region. And so when you go to Nigeria, for example, or you go to Nigeria right now, all their estates are developed. But when you come to Ghana, it is something different. And that is why when the 6 regions were created, summing up a total of 16 regions, people were happy because they felt like when you take Volta, then Oti was under Volta region. So the towns we have now that we claim to be Oti region was once a Volta area. So if you are creating a region or you are trying to separate these two, then automatically you are telling us that you want to develop that area. But if you separate it and there is nothing like development ongoing, then what is the essence of creating the region? Because the pressure here is too much. Everyone wants to come to Accra. Everyone wants to live here. Why? Because they feel like this place is good enough. This is where they can earn a living. This is where, they can better their life. But it's not so. For me, I believe wherever you are, you can still make it. And all the big schools, they are right here in Accra. We have the big schools in other parts. We have UDS in Tamale. We have UHAS in Ho. We have UHAS in Ohoi. So if you go, we have the universities there. But it is not compared to the one we have in Accra. If you go to Ho, if you go to Ohoi, if you go to Damba, if you go to Nkwanta, if you go to Tamale, we have other campuses. So let's say Winneba, they have their campuses in all this region. But it's not as if it is a built structure. So sometimes they rent schools, maybe senior high schools, a senior high school block, and then they use that to teach people. Then after that you graduate, and then you graduate in the name of Winneba. That is how they do it. But I feel like we can do better. That is the best way we can minimize whatever is going on right here in Accra. Because if the capital is shifted from Accra to other regions, people will love to go there. Investors will love to go there. Business moguls will like to go there because they would like to establish something. And then when it happens like that, gradually we are expanding and gradually we are developing other regions too. And so someone in the northern region wouldn't love to come here in Accra because they know that whatsoever is in Accra here is in the north. Someone in the upper east, in the upper west, in the Savannah region wouldn't love to be in Accra because whatsoever they are yearning for here is right in their region. And that is what should be done. But if you want to stand and then points fingers at people that this is what you're supposed to do, that is not what you're supposed to do, then it shifts our focus from what we are supposed to do as a nation. And what's the most significant thing that our leaders are supposed to pay attention to. So for politics, it's not needed. There are times where you can possibly tell that this thing you need to buttress it with politics. But there are issues like this. It's not something that we should be buttressing with politics because it doesn't make sense. People are dying. People's properties have been carried away by the rain. And yet, we are yet to experience worse than what we experienced on Monday. Because the Interior Minister said the next rain that we will experience is heading from Togo. I don't know where the first rain was coming from, but this one is coming from Togo. And yesterday, I fortunately came across a video. Flood in Togo, flood in Nigeria, flood in other parts of the African countries, and it was worse. It was worse. So it should tell you that what we will experience this year will be it will be worse than what we've seen in the previous years. So then what do? We prepare ourselves. And please, our leaders, we are begging you. You don't wait when we are in the rainy season. That is when you know that you take action. You know that this is a waterlogged area. People have built structures that are not supposed to be erected there. You demolish them. People have sold lands to others, which that land is a waterlogged land that does not need to be sold out. Those people, you arrest them. Chiefs who does those involved in such insane activities, you arrest them. That is what we are supposed to do. You don't wait when it starts raining. Now before you see them walking in the rain with their walleting boots, going to talk to people, that wouldn't solve the problem. That wouldn't solve the problem. And to us, we have a role to play. If we don't stop disposing of refuse where we are not supposed to, then we should be ready. Because they'll come and give you mattress, they'll give you pillow, they'll give you a bag of rice, and that is not something that will sustain you for a very long period of time compared to what you've lost. So please, let's do the right thing, and we will all live in peace. Thank you for making time with me on Debbie's Grill.
Thank you so much for the grill, and thank you too for joining us on the first segment of the Ghana Talks Breakfast Show. We'll be going for the news shortly, and right after the news, we'll be back. Please stick and stay with us.
Are you ready to amplify your business or brand's reach and make a meaningful impact in Ghana and beyond? Partner with GhanaTalks Radio today to connect with a diverse audience across Ghana and beyond. Elevate your brand through on-air promotions and social media. Boost your brand during prime time. With GhanaTalks Radio, you can extend your reach across digital platforms. GhanaTalks Radio is not just a station, it is a community hub where your brand becomes part of the conversation. Join us in fostering connections, celebrating culture, and making a lasting impression. For customized sponsorship packages and enquiries, email contact@GhanaTalksRadio.com or call +233 202 544614. GhanaTalks Radio, giving the youth a voice.
We bring you local news, business news, international, sports, and entertainment news right here on GTR.
Welcome to the morning news update on Ghana Talks Radio. Coming up this morning, government moves ahead to ring-fence Tema Oil Refinery debt after the Tema Oil Refinery recorded a 1.24 billion profit in 2025. On flood, the Interior Minister blamed unprecedented rainfall for the recent flooding crisis in Accra as the Bantama Member of Parliament calls on government to mobilize metropolitan, municipal and district assemblies as well as NADMO ahead of a planned flood prevention week. West African Network for Peace Building pushes for greater youth representation in African leadership. Also ahead, undocumented Ghanaians remain in South Africa after voluntary return registration closed. And on business front, the Ghana Revenue Authority has opened the door for tax-paying firms affected by flooding to request relief. Stay with us for full details on these stories and more coming up shortly. The government has announced plans to isolate the Tema Oil Refinery debt following the company's 1.24 billion profit after tax for 2025. Energy Minister John Abdullahi Chinapor explained that the decision is intended to strengthen Tema Oil Refinery's balance sheet and position the refinery for long-term sustainability. According to the minister, the move is part of effort to restructure Tema Oil Refinery's finances and support it turnaround into commercially viable and sustainable energy institution. They have faced years of financial and operational challenges. However, officials says isolating the legacy debt will give management more room to focus on operations, efficiency and investment without the burden of past liabilities. The 2025 profit marks a significant recovery for the refinery and has raised questions about the timing of debt ring fencing plan.
Balance sheet impaired, and when your balance sheet is impaired, it's difficult to raise financing. And I see the Minister of Finance knew what was happening. He's asked me to get one of the audit companies, PwC or any of those companies, to do a comprehensive assessment of all the energy sector agencies. But we have seen a lot of improvements, but your balance sheet is a hindrance. So what he wants to do is to look at the debts, particularly arising from the government side, so that we can request it, take it off your balance sheets, and then give you your balance sheet. Then you can go to the markets and raise finance. Now, because of the state of the economy, the cost of borrowing is very, very low. Banks are now doing like 12%, so 10% of the reference mark plus a 2% or 3% margin. In the past, it used to be around 30%. I mean, there's no way you can borrow 30% and survive. And given the current economic condition, I'm sure that with the right support, you will make it. The other thing we're trying to do is to ensure that we deliver our own crude oil to you, so that you process, and government will do everything we can to support you. Because when the oil refinery functions well,
the Minister for Interior, Muntaka Mohammed, has blamed the recent flooding in Greater Accra on unusually intense rainfall, calling it the most extreme rainfall in Ghana's documented weather history. According to the Minister for Interior, the Ghana Meteorological Agency recorded 169.2 millimeters of rain in a single day and a total of 593.2 millimeters for the month of June, the highest monthly rainfall ever recorded in the country. He acknowledged that human activities contributed to the severity of the floods. However, he stressed that the sheer intensity of the rains would have overwhelmed drainage systems and caused widespread flooding.
I must admit, Mr. Speaker, if you look at the statistics that we received from the Ghana Meteorological Agency, it clearly states that in the month of June, we normally expect a lot of rains. But what happened yesterday gave us 169.2 millimeters of water. And this is the 4th largest volume of water in a day since 1995. And for the month of June, we had a total in month of June of 593.2 millimeters of water. And Mr. Speaker, is the highest our country has ever received in its history in 1 month, 593.2. The closest was in 2002, and that was 420.6 millimeters. And the other one was 2015, 380.3 millimeters. And these statistics, Mr. Speaker, I'll make it available for the House, are the things that, so it clearly shows that, yes, the human activities, pouring, refuse into our drain, building on waterways, all contributed. But naturally, it clearly shows that even if we had everything right, the kind of rains that we received in June and yesterday will have necessarily created some overflow and created some problem for us.
In similar development, Bantama Member of Parliament Francis Asenso-Boakye urged government to declare 1-week national flood emergency preparedness to tackle recurring flooding challenges in Greater Accra. According to the Member of Parliament, the exercise should task metropolitan, municipal and district assemblies, NADMO and other key stakeholders to intensify the silting, clear block drains and roll out other preventive measures. Mr. Asenso-Boakye said a coordinated nationwide drill will help reduce the impact of heavy rains and improve response readiness ahead of peak rainfall periods. The call comes amid recent flood incidents in parts of Accra and other regions that displaced residents and disrupted livelihoods.
Climate change is making extreme rainfall more frequent across the world. Ghana must therefore invest in climate-resilient drainage infrastructure capable of withstanding increasingly intense storms. With more heavy rains forecast, I respectfully call on government to declare a 1-week national flood emergency preparedness exercise to enable metropolitan, municipal, and district assemblies, NADMO, and the Hydrological Services Authority, the security agencies, and other important stakeholders to intensify the silting, clear block drains, remove obstructions from waterways, pre-position emergency teams, and strengthen public education.
The Executive Director of West African Network for Peace Building, Lavinia Dai-Mensah, has called on government across Africa to involve young people meaningfully in leadership and decision-making processes. Speaking at the 3rd West African Youth Summit in Accra, Mensah Dai-Mensah said empowering the youth is critical to shaping the continent's future and ensuring sustainable peace and development. Also addressing the summit, Austrian Ambassador to Ghana, His Excellency Jürgen Heysel, stressed the need for greater investment in youth participation, education and employment. He noted that creating opportunities for the youth will equip them to contribute effectively to governance, innovation and economic growth. The 3rd West African Youth Summit brought together young leaders, policymakers and development partners to discuss youth inclusion across the region.
They rise despite unemployment, despite shrinking opportunities, despite dreams that have too often been delayed or diminished or diverted or simply shattered. The story of Africa's youth is therefore not only a story of challenges, it is a story of extraordinary resilience, and resilience is one of Africa's greatest assets. So before we ask young people to rise even further, let us first acknowledge what they have already demonstrated. They have risen against remarkable odds, and they continue to rise every single day. Perhaps one of the greatest responsibilities we carry as leaders is not simply to create opportunities, for young people. It is to change the narrative of our young people. For far too long, young people have remained viewed primarily through a lens of risk. We refer to them as a security risk, a migration challenge, a demographic challenge. But is that the only truth? What if we deliberately chose a different lens? What if we began by seeing young people as one of Africa's strategic assets, not because they represent the future, but because they are already shaping the present?
Leadership and resilience. Around the world, and especially here in West Africa, young people are not only the largest demographic group, but you are also the greatest source of innovation, resilience, and hope. At the same time, and yet too often, your voices remain underrepresented in political decision-making, peace-building, and economic transformation. As Austrian ambassador, I'm particularly proud that we can partner this event today, as my country firmly believes that sustainable peace cannot be built for young people, it must be built with young people. Let me quote a great African leader, a great Ghanaian leader, the former UN Secretary General Kofi Annan, who once observed, young people should be at the forefront of global change and innovation. Empowered, they can be key agents for development and peace. I'm firmly convinced that these words remain as relevant today as they were when Kofi Annan was using them for the first time. Austria has long been committed to promoting dialogue, human rights, democracy, and international cooperation. As a member of the European Union and the long-standing supporter of multilateralism, we view youth participation as an investment in stable, inclusive, and prosperous societies. Our own experience has shown that democratic institutions do become stronger when young people participate meaningfully, whether through local government, civil society, through entrepreneurship, volunteerism, or innovation. We therefore particularly welcome this summit's emphasis on a structured intergenerational dialogue, institutional inclusion, and practical mechanisms.
Despite the end of registration for voluntary return, Timothy Manyo, a Ghanaian resident in South Africa, says a considerable number of undocumented migrants remain in the country. According to him, the number of Ghanaians who remain unregistered far exceed those who have opted to live through the ongoing process. His comments highlight concerns over the scale of undocumented Ghanaian migration in South Africa and the challenges facing return and regularization efforts. The voluntary return registration was part of measures to assist Ghanaians without legal status to return home safely. In business, a chief revenue officer at the Ghana Revenue Authority is urging businesses that have suffered losses through fire and other unforeseen incident to report the damage to the authority. They said the value of destroyed and lost goods can be treated as an allowable tax deduction after verification. Speaking in an interview, Victor Yao says businesses that incur losses due to fire outbreak and similar disasters are entitled to claim those losses as allowable deductions under Ghana's tax laws. He explained that affected businesses must first notify the Ghana Revenue Authority to enable officials verify the losses before deduction can be granted. According to Mr. Akogo, the deduction covers the cost of goods that have been destroyed, helping businesses reduce the taxable incomes and retain more resources to support business continuity. He advised businesses seeking to benefit from the relief to ensure they are registered with the Ghana Revenue Authority. He said sole proprietors can register using their Ghana cards, while companies are required to obtain a tax identification number which is issued by the Ghana Revenue Authority. Mr. Akongo encouraged individuals and businesses that are yet to obtain a thing to apply through the Ghana Revenue Authority online platform before completing their registration. He also reminded taxpayers that filing tax return remains legal obligations regardless of whether they made a profit during the reporting period. He noted that businesses that did not earn income are still required to submit a nil return to the authority. He further reminded corporate entities that June 30 is a deadline for filing monthly value-added tax returns and accounting for VAT collected on behalf of the government. He cautioned that taxpayers who fail to file their returns by the due date risk a penalty of 500 Ghana cedis in addition to 10 Ghana cedis for every day the default continues. According to him, all tax returns are now filed electronically through the Ghana Revenue Authority's taxpayer portal, making it easier for individuals and businesses to meet their tax obligations. To sports, Ghana's Black Stars will fly to Missouri State of Kansas City today, July 1st, after the round of 32 match of the World Cup. The Stars face Colombia on Saturday, July 4th, in the round of 32 fixture. Ghana started the week in a relaxed mood as Black Stars coach Carlos Queiroz asked the team to take the day off on Monday. The team will now resume training with 2 sessions on Tuesday morning and evening at the Bryant University near Smithfield. That will be followed by a morning session on Wednesday before flying out to Kansas later in the day. Ghana qualified for the knockout stage as one of the best performing third-place teams after finishing the Group L campaign with 4 points behind England 7 and Croatia 6. In showbiz, Ghanaian artist Stephanie states she's not about to reduce her standard for the sake of a relationship. According to her, any man who wants to be in a relationship must bring value to the table. Speaking in an interview while promoting her new singles, Raw and Money, the singer said she expects a man to be financially stable, although she's capable of taking care of herself. According to her, she's not looking for a man to shoulder all her responsibilities. Rather, she wants a partner who can match her effort and contribute meaningfully to the relationship. Her comments align with the message in her new single Money, which highlights the significance of a man taking good care of his woman. The song has been released with colorful visuals that complement its storyline. Stephanie is a Ghanaian singer, songwriter and performer who rose to prominence in the late 2000s with a blend of Afropop, hip-hop and dancehall. She gained widespread recognition for her energetic performances and has remained one of Ghana's notable female entertainers. Over the years, she has also ventured into acting, television and other creative pursuits before returning to music with new releases. On global updates, police have been stationed throughout South Africa as authorities brace for possible unrest during anti-immigration rallies. President Cyril Ramaphosa has urged demonstrators to steer clear of intimidation, threats and ultimatums. The protests mark unofficial deadline set by campaigners for all undocumented foreigners to leave the country. Many have already filed to escape violence and intimidation. South African police says 25,000 have been repatriated so far. Most are from other African countries. The Ministry of Police said the protests were largely peaceful across the country, with isolated incidents of looting and attempted looting. Johannesburg, where one of the protests is taking place, is unusually quiet. Shops in the city center are closed, while police visibility is high on major streets. Some protesters threw bricks, breaking the windows of some flats in Yeoville, a suburb in Johannesburg, where many African migrants live. Police said 5 people were arrested in biggest township, Soweto, for allegedly looting a foreign-owned shop. 5 people were also arrested for allegedly breaking into a truck shop in KwaZulu-Natal province. Many businesses in central Durban, the main city in the province, are also shut. A police helicopter has been circling the city. Ramaphosa met some of the protest leaders on the eve of the marches in a bid to defuse tensions. He has reportedly cautioned demonstrators to act peacefully while also accepting the need for migration reforms. There are more than 3 million documented foreign nationals in South Africa, according to official figures. The statistics do not record the many more migrants believed to be in the country without papers, a bone of contention for the protesters. Police said that about 50,000 migrants had been arrested since January for being in the country illegally. A Soweto resident told BBC that protesters merely wanted foreigners to comply with the laws of South Africa. She said that with heavy police presence, she did not believe the march in Johannesburg would turn violent. Another protester who is part of anti-migrant group Operation Dula said they would push the police to do their job if undocumented migrants do not leave the country. Nigeria flew out 269 of its citizens on the eve of the protest, bringing around 600 the number evacuated so far. More evacuations are expected to take place in the coming days. Ahead of the deadline, thousands of migrants from various countries have been awaiting processing in temporary camps for several weeks out of fear for their safety. The march in Durban has been peaceful and many businesses in the city are shut. In Durban, which has seen some of the biggest protests, white tents housing mostly Malawians are being dismantled as authorities race to clear the transit camp. About 7,000 Malawians have already been repatriated. Malawian media report women in colorful sarong sat on top of their belongings, waiting in line to board a bus home to Malawi. One man, Nelson Imbawe, said he had gone to South Africa in search of employment to support his family in Malawi. In Durban, migrants have been taking buses to take them home. Anti-migrant marches have been authorized in Johannesburg and other cities. The authorities have cautioned organizers to ensure there is no violence, but says they are prepared for potential disruptions. Police says traditional weapons are not allowed. This could lead to tension between protesters and the police because many of the protesters are ethnic Zulus and take their shells, whips and sticks when they go on marches. However, police have so far allowed them to carry the weapons, seizing only a machete at a march in Durban. According to the government, more than 12,000 immigrants have been deported and repatriated since a wave of protests began earlier this year. Ghana, Malawi, Mozambique, Nigeria, and Zimbabwe have been organizing repatriations by air bus over the last few weeks, with about 3,500 foreigners volunteering to leave the country. South African authorities claim more than 500 Nigerians repatriated did not have correct papers, which Nigeria has disputed. Xenophobia has long been an issue in South Africa and has sometimes led to violence. According to the African Center for Migration and Societies Xenophobic Violence Tracker, XenoWatch, 2 people have been killed this year. In 2008, more than 60 people died during a wave of rioting against non-South Africans. And that's it on the morning news update. Thank you so much for sticking tuned to your radio. Do want to log on to all streaming platforms as well as logging on to our website at www.GhanaTalksRadio.com for more news stories. I am Deborah Adoso. Good morning.
To amplify your business or brand's reach and make a meaningful impact in Ghana and beyond. Partner with Ghana Talks Radio today to connect with a diverse audience across Ghana and beyond. Elevate your brand through on-air promotions and social media. Boost your brand during prime time. With Ghana Talks Radio, you can extend your reach across digital platforms. Ghana Talks Radio is not just a station, it is a community hub where your brand becomes part of the conversation. Join us in fostering connections, celebrating culture, and making a lasting impression. For customized sponsorship packages and enquiries, email contact@GhanaTalksRadio.com or call +233 202 544614. Ghana Talks Radio, giving the youth a voice.
What do you want for breakfast? How do you want your breakfast?
English breakfast, French fries.
Koko nikosi, alo komi kesheto.
Wache.
Well, Gobe is the real deal.
Join us on Ghana Talks Radio. Let's serve you a buffet of breakfast.
From news headlines review, current affairs to social issues.
Entertainment, sports, and all the trending stories live on our mobile app and across all socials from Monday to Friday, 7 a.m. to 10 a.m.
With me, Pakwesi Omare,
Regina Bless,
Deborah Adoso,
and I am Esinal Fiagbedu. This is Ghana Talks Breakfast Show.
Wake up, Ghana, your morning star, right? News, views, inspiration, and great conversations. From Accra to the world, we bring the fresh stories, fresh energy every morning, full of fire and glory. Rise and shine, come join the line. Your day begins when the voices align. Ghana Talks Breakfast Show. Your daily dose, here we go. Ghana Talks Breakfast Show. Ghana Talks Breakfast Show. Only on Ghana Talks Radio. Turn it up and stay tuned for the talk that moves you and keeps your heart in tune. From the traffic to the trends, we got something for your day. Every voice, every vision, lighting up the way. Show. Ghana Talks Breakfast Show. Your daily dose, here we go. Ghana Talks Breakfast Show.
Good morning to you once again, and you are welcome to the Ghana Talks Breakfast Show right here on Ghana Talks Radio. This is your morning companion. This is the only online radio station you can carry along wherever you go. Remember that you're streaming live on Facebook at Ghana Talks Radio, on YouTube at Ghana Talks Radio, and also on X at Ghana Talks Radio. Do want to join us this morning right here on the morning show. Today, I want to be reading a lot of comments, so make sure that you send in your comments. Right, send in your comments. Let's know how you are faring. Let's know if you're affected by the flood or whatsoever. And if you care to share your opinion on what you think the government can do better, or what we can do better as individuals, as a country, to reduce the whole flooding issue. For this morning is still going to be flood. A lot of flooding issues. a lot of new development on the issue. We've heard from President John Dramani Mahama. He mentioned some causes of flood, where he says that climate change. He mentioned engineering problem. He mentioned human behavior, and also a couple of things that he mentioned that in quite a long time, this is the first time that we are experiencing such an amount of rain. Where he mentioned some figures, 140, I stand to be corrected, millimeters of rains as compared to, last year or the previous year, which stood at 56 millimeters. Yes. And we've also seen our former vice presidents touring some communities that were affected by the flood, and per reports we've seen that he's calling for a state of emergency to curb the issue. We've heard from Richard Ahiagba saying that the Kufuor government invested about 550 million Ghana cedis to curb flood, and the issue was, if that money has been invested, why are we still experiencing such massive flood whenever it rains? These are the issues on board, and as the issues arise, my ladies and I will delve into it. This morning is going to be very interactive. We are going to make sure that it's going to be very conversational and very engaging as much as possible, so you can enjoy the show. This morning I'm serving you breakfast and serving you the news in details. Today I'm sure my ladies will be bringing out some analysis, the Garrett project, how it started, the objective of it, and all of that. And we've seen President John Dramani Mahama also releasing some funds for fund relief. And what we should be asking is that enough? Should we continue on this tangent? That 300 million that was released, couldn't it have, done something better for us? There's a lot. We are calling on institutions and the government that if you can support in any way to those that have been affected by the flood, please make sure you do. Let's sympathize with them. Some people are still being displaced, they haven't been found. Some people have still lost their life. It's so sad. It is what it is. Good morning to you ladies once again, and you are welcome to the show.
Good morning.
Oh, why? The energy is low. What happened? The King Stella didn't come. Oh, my bad. Go back. Miss Regina.
Yeah.
Dr. Anama.
I went to check. She didn't.
So is that why you are so emotional this morning? Or you're sympathizing
I've
with...
switched to Gobe.
You switch... Senior idea. Unless we fall on Gobe. Unless we fall on Gobe. Miss Debbie, how are you doing?
The grace is sufficient.
It looks like our people missed you the first segment, but it's good you are here. Right, so this morning we are going to be talking about a lot of flood. Miss Eugenia, I know you're tired of it, but as a media house, I know you're tired of it. As a media house, we still have to talk about it. And this morning we are going to be looking at how did we get here? What caused it, and what can we do as a country, as individuals, to make sure that we don't end up where we are today? I'll begin with you, Miss Debbie.
Yeah, so if you ask me how we got here, I would say we didn't pay attention to the little details. Let me just divert a bit. In a normal life, when you're living your normal life, there are certain things that you don't really pay attention to. If you don't pay attention to details, you end up messing up all the time. There are some details that are very significant. You need to pay attention to it. You don't say, oh, it's nothing. It's nothing. By the time you realize it, it becomes a whole lot. And then by the time it dawned on you that you've lost, so much, that is when the proverb comes in that had I know but always at last. So we got here, we are here right now because we didn't pay attention to details like before Accra was planned, before Accra became Accra. I know there were plans, there were surveys, there were some drawing on paper, the settlement, the layout and everything. But it's because we didn't really pay attention to that, where I would say we were much interested in, because this is this is the capital town of Ghana, and so let's just do what we are supposed to do. The layout was done, but then I think even if there is a layout, you should think about the future. You should think 10 years from now, 20 years from now. Because trust me, when Nkrumah was in power, there were things he did during his time when I was not born. But I'm still enjoying it. The Tema motorway, I've been using that route. So I'm enjoying what was being constructed back then in the 90s. So it should tell you that Nkrumah thought into the future. When we talk we take Akosobo Dam for example. That's a dam that was created in the 90s. But it's still helping us now. We depend on Akosobo for our light. So it should tell you that they thought into the future. But it looks as if the leaders we have of late, they don't think about the future. What they think about is what we are coming to do now and how best this is going to help. And that is all. We don't think of what if. We don't even ask ourselves, what if? When we do this, what if that happened? What if this happened? We don't think about that. What we are only interested in, let's just go by the normal way. And so this place, we've come this far because, as I said earlier on, we didn't pay attention to some of these details, like maybe 10 years to come, what we are going to experience. So long as this is a capital town, everybody will love to come here. This place is more developed. This place have the biggest industry. It has almost 99% of the best schools. So everybody will love to come to Accra. And sometimes you call someone, people tell you that when you come to Accra, the day I came to Accra, I was like, there is nothing perfect here compared to where I'm coming from. It's equally the same. The only difference is that this place have more industries, it has more schools, and so in terms of, say, employment, although employment is quite difficult, but at least there is an office you can walk to with your CV. But in other places, the offices are limited, so you have to travel in here. That is the only difference. So what do we do? That is the question we should be asking ourselves. But we are refusing to ask ourselves the right questions. And so the questions that comes on, but we don't even pay attention to it. So for me, we've gotten this far because we are refusing to think. We are refusing to be creative. We are refusing to, do the right thing at the right time. We don't do it. So for us to move from this era in which we find ourselves, is going to be a lot. Unless there is a decentralization, as President Mahama said, that some institution will need to be transferred to other regions. I think that will help. And for us to bring an end to this whole thing about flooding, it has to do with a lot of measures needs to be put in place. The government needs to be aggressive. This is not about family issue. Because politically we have some sort of relation, and so let me just go ahead and pardon you. This is not the time of pardoning anybody. Structures that needs to be demolished should be demolished. People that needs to be arrested should be arrested. If it is a chief, so long as you are a chief and you are refusing to reason as a human, you need to be arrested. So you have to be arrested. We need to arrest you because your recklessness is causing us the havoc we are seeing today. The lands that are being sold out to people, the waterlogged lands, areas that are being sold out to people, is as a result of what we are seeing now. So if the right thing is not being done, and then we kept saying that, because this, I'm not saying that the chief of Accra, the government chair, is into that, but I just want to cite an example. Maybe someone will be like, because he's the chief of this land, he has the sole responsibility and the sole right over the land. Unless he gives you the go ahead, there is nothing we can do. If that is what we want to do, then I don't think we are going to move forward as a country. Because this flood issue, this is a tip of the iceberg. We are yet to see more than what we are seeing now. So if the right measures are not being taken, we are joking. I'm telling you the truth. We are joking. With this recent flood on Monday, people were, I saw people on the roofing sheet. If we don't do the right thing, people have to be flying in the sky. That is what we will see. On Monday, we saw swimming pythons. Not flying pythons, swimming pythons. A whole rain was able to carry people's container. If you go to Malam Junction, it was worse. Yes, vehicles carried people, a whole container. There is one shop at Malam Junction. The rain forcefully opened the container, took out everything. The woman sells this man shirt, a tie, white, and all that. The rain took away all the belongings from the shop and then brought in rubbish. And all the people on that lane, that was the same thing that happened. So people are running at loss financially. And then lives is uncountable. So we've gotten here because our leaders are unserious. And because the citizens themselves are also unserious. In fact, the citizens themselves, we have a problem. And we need to solve that. Calling on the government to buy wouldn't solve anything. They will do their part. We also have a role to play.
They'll do their part. We also have a role to play. Well, President John Dramani Mahama mentioned some 5 causes of these floods, where he mentioned human behavior as one, climate change, and also engineering problem. Which of them do you think that is the major cause of problem, Ms. Debbie?
Please, a question.
President John Dramani Mahama mentioned some causes of flood, where he cited climate change, he cited human behavior, and also re-engineering engineering problem. Which of these causes do you think is the major one that we can actually look at or pay critical attention to? Obviously, climate change is natural, that you cannot
You cannot do without.
You cannot do without, or even do anything about it. But what we can do is just be in it and then manage it. But looking at the two issues left, which is engineering problem and also human behavior,
I think all these challenges it's a contributing factor. But the main factor is what Regina said: human behavior. As for the climate change, is bound to happen, and that is why we have the meteorologists who are so into weather. They are supposed to know what will happen the next moment from now, and then they tipped us. And so I don't know whether you saw when the interior minister was saying that they never saw the rain coming. They got to realize it somewhere late on Sunday evening. And so it was so late to send messages across that this is what is happening. So I feel like we have to do more. And then to do that, they will need the resources. So even if you listen to this Ghana National Fire Service personnel and the rescue team, NADMO, everyone is saying that they are possibly doing their best, but they still need the resources. If the resources is not there, how do they execute whatever they are supposed to do? Now, when you come to we the citizens, our own is even worse. Our human behavior, our own is worse. And sometimes you see these people and you ask yourself whether they are mentally, or there should be a segment where they will check people's mind to find out whether people are sound, mentally sane. I'm saying this because you will see a citizen, a whole citizen who claim to be mentally sane, carries a sack of refuse. And then you wait till it rains, and then you pour it in a gutter. What are you expecting? You are equally telling the rain that what they are taught because that is what you are saying. With the recent flood that happened on Monday, was he Agboguloshi? After the rain, when the rain was bypassing, one of the things I realized was refuse. It was carrying refuse. And yes, Alajo. It was carrying refuse, and the refuse it was carrying was like it was an eyesore. So it should personally tell you that we the citizens, we also have a role to play. In as much as we are calling on the government that if we do not play our part, then it's a waste of time, because President Mahama will not come and hold you and put knife on your neck and tell you to do the right thing. You are old enough to know the right place to dispose refuse, the right time to dispose of refuse. You don't wait till it rains. That is when you dispose of your refuse. If you do that, and so never foul.
I wish when you are going to throw it in the
So we need to do the right thing. If we don't change our behavior, trust me, there is no way we can bring an end to this flood issues in Ghana. And a lot of Ghanaians are not ready to change. I'm telling you the truth. A lot of them are not ready. Even with this flood issues that is happening of late, we still have people that are disposing refuse in flowing water. So it should tell you how serious this is. So climate change count. I think, as I said, this place is so Accra is so congested. Everybody wants to be here. If you go to some residential areas, you will see obi dying here. There is no space for you to even throw water when you are done washing. One year careful. What to now to be there. So it should tell you how serious this is. So human behavior is something we should pay attention to. And you remember when Akufo-Addo said he's not going to use our money to fix anything, because if we don't change our attitude, the money they use, they took that they want to dredge their Odona. Where is it? Question for the ghost to answer. So I think with flood here, as citizens, we have a big role to play.
Ms. Gina, looking at the factors that are outlined. Human behavior. Yes, and Ms. Debbie mentions that Accra is congested, but every day people are selling land, people are building houses. Does that mean that when the district assembly give you permits to build at a place, they do not follow strict measures, or they don't allow people to build at places where they are supposed to build or they are not supposed to build?
Your question is confusing.
Oh, sorry.
They've given you the permit.
The permit they go for.
They've given you the permit to go ahead and build. So that,
as in, you are supposed to go there and take a permit
before you can build.
Then they give you a permit that build here, but obefan chain. Then go and build at where you are not supposed to build. What are the district assemblies doing about it? Is it that they pay these people off to keep them quiet, to allow them to build in waterways or wetlands, or where they are not supposed to build, or where they have not been given the permits to build?
Is it even possible? Because I feel like the people who are building in unauthorized places, they did not in the first place go to the right authorities for permits. Because one thing I know is, if you go permit, they go through the your friend is saying document where the land is. So if the land is situated at a place where it's not
suitable,
not suitable, there's no way the permit will be given to you. So once the permit is given to you, it means that permit was it's a good place. That is why the permit was given to you. Now my question is, you said, what if that permit was given and they go build at another place,
or the district assembly do not even know where these people are going to build before even giving them the
I'm
permit?
sure they know.
Because I don't think all district assembly actually have the luxury of time to go and survey or find out where exactly you are building before giving you the permit.
There should be a collaboration between
this is not collaboration. They have
assembly and EPA.
Oh, they have that time. Because if they don't have that time, tell me why some corner no more cultural stop work there.
But you realize that we ourselves, we also end up writing the stop work, so we don't get the harassment of the district assemblies as well.
So I think aside giving permits, they also need to make sure that they go on ground themselves to check all of these things. It's not only about just giving the person permits just like that. After the permit is given, go on ground, check what is going on. Is the person doing the right thing? It shouldn't only be about granting the permits. So at the end of the day, we would all be protected. We wouldn't be facing these flood issues. And why should you also see, as Ms. Debbie said, I feel like sometimes they need to take majority of Ghanaians to go and psych our brains, because there's no way, if I know that this place is a waterlogged area, I would buy the land in the first place or even start building there. Most people know that this is a waterlogged area. So as I say, what former winning as I see where there in so a better there's this part where we buy the fufu. When you get to that side, you know, say had there in anytime it rains, that place is flooded. the moment you come out of your room, you are facing the water. But still, people are there.
People are there.
We have a really long way to go, and the right authorities need to start manning up to make sure that they take out all these people. We always say at the end of the day, when they demolish all these buildings, people will still insult them, but it is better than say you are being insulted than people to lose their lives. Just this morning, I saw a video of a woman crying bitterly. Apparently, her newborn baby that is not even up to 3 months has been washed away by the flood.
1 week.
That child, God, but on baby, she's dead. The baby is gone. You wouldn't find the baby again. That pain will still be there forever.
And whenever you raise, the anxiety is going to be
exactly. Do you know that, as you are saying, the anxiety, some people can even be traumatized forever. Me like this, I'm already traumatized when it comes to a apple, because they may coda and you know me who be an dream. So they need to do something about it. It's some people are finding ways to make it funny, but it's not funny.
But it's not funny. Ms. Debbie, how do we hold our district assemblies accountable when it comes to flooding, especially in our communities? Because when it comes to the hierarchy of leadership, the assemblyman, our district assembly, MCs, then MP. It goes to the MP, and then all of that. Are we still having? Do we still have the culture of communal labor in our communities? When last did your community have one? So you see where the problem is coming from. Yeah. So we should be holding the district assemblies accountable, because it starts from somewhere and then ends somewhere.
So personally, I think the citizens within the district or the municipality should act as whistleblowers. If you don't blow the whistle pertaining what your DC, MC or MP is doing in that particular municipality or district, I mean, you give that person a room to continue misbehaving. So let me not go far. The day we went to the Makati to do the reporting, we interviewed some of the people, and then they said the member of parliament have not even stepped foot in the area to ascertain what was going on. So it should tell you that sometimes these people do not really care about what is going on in the district, in the municipality. They don't really care. They're only self-centered. And they only take an action when something pops up. Maybe because they want to run an election again. So they take an action. But that is not supposed to be so. So if we, the citizens in that particular community, do not hold these people accountable, then trust me, they're not going to do the right thing. They'll, excuse me for using this word, they'll continue fooling. Because they know that even if they should fool, at the end of the day, when they give you meat pie, when they give you yogurt with 1 CD, you will still come in for them. You will still win. How will I even put it? You will vote for them. So for me, I feel like to hold these people accountable, we need to be whistleblowers. In fact, we need to be the supervisors and the monitors ourselves. That is our well-being. You are there for a reason. I'm not sure you are being given DC or MC just because they thought that you are handsome enough to handle that position. But it's because they felt like you are capable of doing the work. So if you're a DC, you're an MC, and people do not really feel your impact, then what is your essence? And you see, that is why most of the times I find it very, very annoying when I see people like members of parliament, people like the DC are talking about the assembly, they are supposed to do the right thing, they won't do it all. When it gets out of hand, then you see them moving from house to house, comforting these people. What are you doing? The deed has already been done. So the right thing should have been done even before what they are seeing. But you didn't do it. With the recent flood, immediately the flood happened, I saw some ministers walking in the rain with molting boot from house to house, consoling these people. And I was like, what is this? You should have done this for a long time.
But if they don't do it, we will complain.
As for complain, they will complain.
Exactly.
But the right thing should have been done. So you are in the municipality, you know what is going on. You know that this is a waterlogged area. So what do? You tell the person that but I feel like sometimes the citizens are intimidated. They feel like they don't even get the backing from their own people. And that is because the conscience of some of the citizens have been bought. And so even if all the one see was say, I want to stand in there are people who will go against you. So at the end of the day, they said if you cannot beat them, you join them, right?
Yeah.
So if you feel like you want to stand in for the people, and then it looks as if the youth around you are not ready to mobilize themselves and then walk in or see what you are seeing, you end up giving up and then joining them, because after all, what at the end of the day, more 50 cities to buy watching. And that is why we kept seeing what we are seeing. So for me, to hold these people accountable, we need to be supervisors, we need to be monitoring spirit, we need to be whistleblowers to ensure that the right thing is being done. And for the assembly, they have a lot of work to do.
A lot of work.
I don't remember the last time I hear general cleaning in my area. Me will be that. And even if they do it, how many people do you see on the street? We don't even care. We feel like, say, Zoom Lion, Ejuma. That is what we think. And then at the end of the day, when it comes back hunting us, that is when we keep calling on a buy.
We keep calling on the government. So just as Ms. Debbie has stated, and that we need to hold our district assemblies accountable. When last did your community hold a communal labor, a general cleaning? When last did you desilt your gutter? Because I remember back then, you scrub the gutter in front of your house. If your area there's weed over there, you will weed. They'll call everybody out. You bring out rakes, you bring out cutlass, you bring out standing brooms, you do all of that. But now we don't even do that again because everybody is busy living their lives. But I believe that if one person should start, if it should be a culture, if it should be a norm that everyday practice we indulge ourselves in, at least it's not going to, eradicate it's not going to eradicate the problem completely, but it's going to bring a reduction. The crisis or the issues or the effect it brings is going to reduce. So this morning, during our news review, where we read that Richard Ahiagba said that the NPP invested about 550 million Ghana cedis into flooding. But the question is, if that amount of money was being invested, why are we still experiencing flood? And Miss Regina gave a brilliant submission when she said that it's not like you people left power like 25 years ago or 5 years ago or even 3 years ago. You left power how many months? 18 months if I'm not mistaken. And we are where we are today. So assuming we have seen proper action or proper results, it wouldn't be intense or even massive as we are seeing it today. And that takes me to the initiative they brought, which was GhARID. A lot of people call it, but it's GhARID, which is the Greater Accra Resilient Integrated Development. And that project is set to, reduce flooding, the silt gutters, and improve infrastructure, and then all of that. Where World Bank invested $200 million, and Parliament also approved 150 million Ghana cedis to add up to make sure that it takes what it takes to the people have funds, they have resources to make sure that we see works we see works going on. But we are where we are today. Miss Debbie, Miss Regina spoke on that, so I'll take your opinion on that.
Okay. With the previous administration.
With the previous administration and what GhARID intended, do you think that it actually lived to serve its purpose?
It didn't.
Oh.
We were expecting them to do more, but we didn't see that. I remember during the previous administration, when flood became so intense, the former president, Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, with some of, I think the head of, the man is called Mr. Safo something, the head of the GhARID you talk about right now. Yeah. They went to the Odona, and then they told the president that this is the case, this is what they're supposed to do. A video of exactly how they are supposed to dredge the water and the amount of money needed to dredge it, so that in the coming years or subsequent years, when it rains, we don't get to see what we've seen But unfortunately, the money was disbursed. It's not as if the money wasn't disbursed. The money was disbursed, but we saw nothing. No one accounted to us what the money was used for. And so personally, they have no right, for me, they have no right to even speak about this flood. I feel like they should just keep quiet. If you have something to say, if you have a measure that you feel like if the president should buy into your measure or the steps you are bringing on board is going to help us, I think you should communicate to the right authorities. You don't come and make it look as if when your government was in power, you did something. See, this is not politics, okay? But then I feel like this issue, sometimes we need to put people in their right places. Right. I came across Miracles Aboaje's post on Twitter yesterday. Yes, and he was bashing the NDC government when President Mahama went touring the whole survey Accra, and then pinpointing what was going on and all that, and then he was complaining that he wasn't even saying Mr. President, Mr. P. That was what he called the president, Mr. P. So he's calling Mr. President, and he was like, so now that you've surveyed the place, what next? That is what he was asking the president, what next? And then he was trying to make it look as if when their government was in power, they did their possible best. In fact, they solved flooding. And it looks as if when this government came on board, they've worsened the whole case. But which is not so. When we saw what your government did, how well did you solve flood? Even when Akufo-Addo told us that he's not going to waste the taxpayers' money, he didn't say disburse the money to dredge Odona. Where's the money? Is Odona not still the same? We saw what happened on Monday. People were flying on top of their roofs. And that is why I said we saw the swimming python. Swimming pythons. People were swimming. In fact, we need to learn how to swim, because what is coming is going to be worse.
It's a requirement. No, seriously.
Don't lie. What is coming is going to be worse than what we experienced on Monday.
Yeah.
So I think this should be something that should be even taught in our schools. How to swim. Because a ton year dinner, you don't wait for 1-2-2 or 1-1-2. Oh, my money
They themselves, they need
yes. Because yesterday there was on Monday when the rescue team went to rescue some people. Yes, he was going to save a life, but he nearly lost his life. So it should tell you how serious this is. This is not the time where you come and be politicizing, pointing fingers that Mahama is not doing well. You came to power 8 years. What did you do? President Mahama came to power how many years now? 1 year, 6 months. Your government was in power for 8 years. What did you do about flooding? Nothing. So you have no, for me, you have no right. They should just shut up and listen. That is what I said. If you have a measure or you have a step which you feel like the government can adhere to help us, fine, fair enough. Because as it stands here, any MPP, any NDC, it's your fault. Any MPP assemble, it's your fault. Any NDC assemble. So we don't need anything like politics. We need people. We need reasonable people to bring the right measures on board. And yesterday I saw a video of what's the name? This man, one lecturer at the University of Ghana, Djibouti, Zato. Is that of
Ghana?
Yes, lecturer at the University of Ghana. He's also a political analyst.
What did he say?
And he was blaming the current president, the current administration, that they are doing nothing. I saw the video, I was just laughing. I was like, these people, sometimes I ask myself, where do they gather their info from? Like, how are they able to sit down and then conclude on matters? I feel like before you accuse someone, sit down, analyze yourself. What did you do? You came and you met the same situation. What was the measures you put in place? How did you solve it? And you feel like, well, this was the measures I put in place. Then you list them out. When I came, I saw flood. This was what I did. And so if the government is not doing the right thing, you have the sole right. In fact, you have the sole mandate to hold the current administration accountable. I'm not saying the current administration to go and sleep, because this is a massive work to do. Very, very huge. So, see, with this issue with the minority, they just want to be relevant. In fact, the money, na ekodi then was Cecilia Dapa. Ayeko husika more friend is it Chichridie or what?
Sikapuduo.
Is it under her bed or whatever? She said their own personal money. And no. So we are begging them, please. This flood issue is not something that we should politicize. This is not the time for you to be pointing fingers. And no. People are dying. What I saw in Malam Junction on Monday, it got me scared. I'm telling you. I was very, very scared. People's shops were destroyed. Properties were destroyed. Life. I saw a video where water carry kiosk with human.
Yeah, I saw that too. It was sad, but
it's not funny.
No, it's not funny.
It's not funny. A whole kiosk, so and then I feel like sometimes we the citizens we are on serious. So your life, you are going after a goat.
Some are even rescuing dogs and hens.
God.
We need share after this weekend. People will use this as memes and be making fun of people.
Yeah, exactly.
Which I think we should refrain from. Because if say they are serious,
no, yeah, exactly. That has been the issue for long. They don't take us serious because issues that needs to be tackled with seriousness, we tend to joke about it. And so the authorities are not able to identify when we are joking and when we are serious.
When we are serious.
Because all the time we are fooling. Excuse me, but let me put it down.
Oh yes, we play too much. We play with literally everything.
People were running for their life and I saw Okada rider holding the motorbike. Jay was said that.
No,
so you die?
That is his livelihood also.
So Regina, do you want to die?
Share. I even saw a video of a taxi man. According to the video, he stood in the rain for good 2 hours holding the car. If he leaves the car, the water will take the car away.
What will he eat?
No,
exactly.
See.
After the rain, what will he eat?
I believe that if you have life, like
no, sometimes if you have life and the food is not there, what will you do?
But you have to be reasonable.
Is there. They'll give you mattress and pillow.
I think grandpa they should stop.
But you have to be reasonable about it. Your life is just one. The motto you can still work and then
that is my problem.
I saw a video on Instagram, Kwesi Official, and the man held onto his motorbike and there was a car and they were telling him that like it was sort of like a rescue team. It was like leave the motor and come. He said no. He still held on to the motor. He was like he felt at that juncture he could save himself and also save the motor.
You are joking.
They said leave the motor and come and join us in the car. It was a pickup car. Leave the motor and come and join us in the car. He held on to the motor. He held on. The water had to take him away. So at this juncture, so go with me. This one is.
This is the woman in the.
Follow me.
Wherever you go, I will go.
This one's follow me.
So you see, sometimes, and what he said was that, Charlie, it's poverty because assuming you had the means and you had the money, and then you know that within just a snap of your finger you can buy it again. Why not? You just let it go.
Understand that some people have no one to rely on. If I was in that position, I will leave it because I know I have a lot of. I will come to office, you buy food for me to eat. I will leave it.
Yeah, I guess it. Yeah. But I'm not trying to cut in, but I don't know whether you also saw a video where I seen a Chinese warehouse in Tema.
Oh
yeah.
And do you know that they've retrieved the item. They're going to sell it.
They've retrieved the item.
They've retrieved the item.
They've retrieved the item.
And they're going to sell it.
They're going to sell it, my sister. That contaminated goods.
Yeah.
Oh really?
And that brings me to the video I saw yesterday on one of our sisters. I think on TV3. It was actually a reportage, and the market women that they were affected by the rain, onion, tomato. The reporter asked them, "Are you still going to go ahead and sell the goods?" He said, "Yes, I'll wash it, I'll sell it." See, I think this is a time that the health minister has to come out and educate these people that the flooding is just not water. Excuse me to say, beans you.
Yeah.
Seriously, rubbish, like it's a whole lot of filth. And the water has submerged these goods, these food items. And what you think you can do right is just wash it and then sell it to people. I think at this juncture, when you're even going to the market to buy something, be careful of what you buy. Because you might not know whether that item was actually taken by flood. And ABC baby now no babeton. So I think at this juncture, our health practitioners and our health personnel, the health minister should come out, educate the market women that if that food item has been taken by flood, I know it's a huge loss, but think about the life of people as well. You are going to sell contaminated foods to people. We are begging the authorities that are supposed to be doing this.
I think the Ministry of Health has released a statement, and they are putting things in place to make sure that outbreak of diseases are not.
Yesterday, I also received a message from the Ministry of Health.
Now, my issue is they have to target that tema where the employees came out to retrieve the items, because in your fina they said they are come to take the things and sell again. I don't understand them. I said what can they be in now?
Oh, that one.
As
of flood, so the right thing should be done. That's all.
And those who were even swimming in the flood, at the end of the day, they need to go for checkups, because your skin was exposed. All kinds of germs will be entering.
Yeah, because if you see the message that the Ministry of Health sent across, I think one thing they said was don't even walk in the normal flow. Flowing flood water.
Right. That takes us to waste management. As a country, are we managing our waste well? So does that mean that the dumping sites for refuse were equally flooded? Have the rubbish now returned to people's home?
It has returned.
It has returned. Well, what can we do? What can we do? Share your thoughts with me.
The only thing we can do is to bring up effective measures. It's not only about the policies. The policies are there. We have beautiful policies always on paper, but how we would make it effective is the issue. When you go to the Western world, they have your friend is saying this big factory where at the end of the month, so they'll boil alcohol, and before you even take your boiler, there's not just like you're going to dump it. You go selection, plastic, wood, that. You make sure that you do all the selections and put it in its individual places. We can adapt to that. There's no harm in trying. And in all the stations, and the stations and the is a vintage or point where a lot of people are
vantage points.
Also, somebody that's been AC ho. I thought that would you know your friend is a quan one miss you obi wa how be one or the two form. Make me yet what the better form, because don't mean fan show bag to me
I think I've also done that before.
I quite remember in school they taught us how to handle the pure water sachet, making it in a very little bag so that you just put it in your bag. Now we don't do that. Pocket. We don't even have that time. You just leave it, drink water, bottle water, don't just leave it. Looking at the Alajo big drain, when the water was it was just plastics. It was just planned. That is the time where they need to intensify the stopping of
banning on
plastic.
The plastic.
Yeah,
exactly.
styrofoam.
This is the time because our plastic na go up no eto that the fishermen said to the plastics no munya fish.
Yeah.
And the fish also will feed on that plastic.
So we are eating
and at the end of the
else.
day, we are also eating those fishes. So we will also be eating plastic and we will die. So they need to intensify that and make sure that every point has a dustbin. And then they only say dustbin si ho. Nipa one found to moon. You arrest the person.
You bet show.
Na yan show. Ya chwa yan wow. And you bibia na ye ju. Nipa nipa in fian.
Is it mental health? Because
it's mental health.
I don't know. And it's lack of training.
More lack of training.
And also
it's intentional. It's intentional because I feel like that we have the laws, but the laws are not working. The laws are only stated on paper. So you see, we have what's the name? Police officers on the street. I feel like their mandate is not only to direct traffic, but they should also ensure that people intentionally drop, say, as to reset your brain. Then you take it, so that you know. See, if you go to a country that is working, you will change. No one will tell you to change you. So let me not even go far. Okay, let's take somewhere, a country that is very disciplined, like China, like Japan, like this Korean. Water region.
It's a very clean,
especially yes. So if you mistakenly drop a refuse, you even remember the day you were born.
Hey,
I'm telling you.
The way the old ladies will insult you in a way.
You remember the day you were born.
You regret it.
And even if you don't have a home training, that day you've learned something. You will never drop after drinking water. You won't drop what's the name, the sachet or on the floor. You won't do that. So please, so our police officers, they are not only there to direct traffic and also take 50 cedis. They are there to also ensure that the right thing is being done.
It's being done.
Because we don't do it, and I feel like we don't have a lot of recycling. What's the name? Industries in Ghana. If you go to other countries, they recycle these plastics into chairs, like what we are even sitting on here, into bed, into usable stuffs. But we don't have it. Even the ones we have, how effective is it? It's not effective. So all the people, all the citizens we have who go to school to learn how to recycle this plastic and all that, because we don't have the institutions to employ them, we end up losing them to other countries who have these institutions and are making good use of them. So we should bring out what's the name? Build more of this recycling industries that will recycle our refuse. Especially the plastics. And I feel like we don't have a major dumping site in Accra here.
We don't.
Yes. So when you get a particular land here, they go then they will divert it. I learned the one that has been diverted from Makati now, they will be sending it to Ashama. Yes, that is what I heard. So imagine Ashama to is full, they will have to divert it to a different area. I feel like we should have a dumping site. We can even designate a whole town, like a land that will be equal to a whole town, so we can dispose of refuse there. And you see this force that we are wearing, these dresses, it's also another issue. If you go to Accra, you see those guys selling these forced dresses. Sometimes when like two of the sack is full of rubbish. The dresses are not dresses that can be sold. And then it becomes something else. And they go to dump it. And these are things that sometimes do not even burn and decompose easily. So when it happens like that, it comes back to affect us. And when you get to these areas, you cannot breathe. You have to hold your breath. Now it's okay. When you're going to what's the name? Graphic. When you're going to Accra, graphic. When you get there, you have to hold your breath and relax. So the vehicle moves from that area before you can breathe. And so, you see, when it comes to sanitation, Nigeria woman is saying bam. It's like it's bad. It's bad. It's very, very bad.
There's a company in Tema. Somewhere in Tema, I've just forgotten, I think Bombaya area there. It's a Chinese company. They collect refuse and then they sieve the real refuse from the sand. And if you go there and you see the sand here, the way they've refined the sand and they burn the refuse till it becomes smaller. So they burn it at night when everyone is asleep. They sieve the rubbish from the sand. And if you see what they are doing there here, where no mattress ne nyamama and Ghana, please, how can we be innovative?
We
are not innovative at all. We are not innovative, neither are we even creative. So please, our government, our authorities, especially when it comes to waste management, you see that our dumping sites, how can Makati be a dumping site? Like, I think about it and I can't even think far. Because it's serious.
Very,
a whole
serious
place like Makati, it's not like people are not living there. People are actually living there. And the rubbish, the dumping site is actually in the midst, in the middle of the road.
Opposite the dumping site is a hospital.
Look at that.
Then you
tell me that when you come out from the washroom, meanwhile the washroom is right in front of you. So when it comes to waste management, I think that is equally one cause of flooding that our authorities need to look at. Now, let's look at the relief that President John Dramani Mahama has, So President Mahama directs immediate disbursements of 300 million Ghana cedis flood relief and mitigation funds. President Mahama has directed the Minister for Finance to release 300 million from the contingency fund to finance urgent flood relief and mitigation efforts. The directive forms part of government's response to the flooding of part of Accra and other communities in the southern sector of the country after hours of unusually heavy rainfall. 150 million Ghana cedis out of the amount will finance urgent relief efforts for flood-affected persons and communities in the southern sector of the country. Another 150 million Ghana cedis will be spent on flood mitigation methods or measures aimed at reducing incidents of flooding. The president has directed the deployment of personnel of the Ghana Armed Forces and police to work with NADMO and other security services in the rescue and relief operations currently underway across the country. The president earlier undertook an aerial tour of the flooded areas to assess the full extent of the situation and announce a raft of steps being taken to safeguard residents and prevent further flooding. I think that's a good one from the government. But if we don't do anything about it, we will keep releasing money for relief. Anna, Miss Debbie.
As for the money, dear, they will release it, but just as we said before, if the government is putting the right measures in place and we are refusing to cooperate with the government, then it makes it so difficult. Then it means that every year there will have to be a disbursement of a sum of money to solve these flood issues. But why don't we just solve the issue to its uprooting it from its root cause? Yeah. So with this measure, it's just like a temporal measure to solve this whole issue about flood, but not a permanent one. So it's not bad, but we will have to fix ourselves first. If we don't fix our, we keep saying this, but it looks as if some people are not ready to change. And when it happens like that, I remember the first time Mahama spoke on this issue, he said it is our fault. And then when they go around demolishing, for example, structures that are built on waterways, the same people be complaining, say, I'm buying it to me, but you did not pass through the right procedures. You didn't go to EPA. There was nothing like permits. You went to build a file, so I'm buying a besaboka. So I feel like the government is trying its possible best. We should also work in that same direction and help ourselves. Mahama fear and Fladio. If you call Fladia, or what he will fly out of the country. Where do you have go? You don't have any place to go. You don't have any place to run to. So I think the right thing should be done with the measures he brought on board. It's good, but I see it to be a temporal solution. We should come up with permanent solution, and we know that if this is a permanent solution, we are doing it once and for all. So this occurrence, like, it shouldn't happen in the near future. Even if it should happen, it shouldn't be like what we experienced on Monday. It should be something normal. And then one thing I've also realized, most of the roads constructed in Accra does not even have a common gutter. Gutter, they've constructed a whole road without gutter. Where do you expect the water to flow or to run to? So the streets will get flooded. And even the ones with the U-drain, we've packed it with refuse. So we should come up with permanent solution, and it should come with aggressiveness. The government needs to be very, very aggressive. And things that needs to be done should be done immediately. If not, then we should be ready for more deaths, more losses of properties.
Now I'm there. Miss Regina, what do you make of the relief?
So it is just a temporary solution, and looking at the way people are losing their lives, the way people's buildings are being destroyed, and also the way some of the roads constructed has been divided into two. Just this morning, Ezegumwa, people are stranded because I don't know if it's rained there either yesterday or today, but people are stranded because a kwani everyone say I was crying, said they are so straight, a more to until I hole, and people are stranded, they can't move. And I also saw a building of a house where your my friend is in chamber and hall. In so they have cup and I have Gina hall.
Hey, bet in them saying,
or they have co.
You see, you bet not have.
See, it's not funny.
You're laughing. It's not funny. It'll be investments.
Oh yes, it's not funny. But no, I thought that you're swinging. Nipa, you're swinging. Don't expect something to last when the foundation of it is not strong.
Yeah.
Simple as ABC. No matter how you build in waterways, it is strong. It will get to a point where it will get tired. And I sometimes wonder how in Zulezu they are coping.
They'll cope.
Because in Zulezu, they are not flooded.
They are not. You get it. You've not heard it.
And
yeah.
In Jia. Would a dressing sumu
Extra.
It's right. But this one no. So they should find effective and permanent solution.
Right.
We don't need temporary solution. And as she said, when they implement it, they need to add aggressiveness to it. We should end Ghana being gentle. That thing, they should stop it. The leaders are too gentle. They are too gentle. We don't like it.
Like
I don't know. Someone like Kennedy Japan. Yes. Someone like Kennedy Japan. I think he's kind of aggressive. With someone like that, I feel like there will be kind of saying this issue will stop. And the Minister for Works and Housing, I don't know.
Another gentleman.
No. One of the among the ministers of President Mahama.
Really?
Yes.
You think it's not working?
No. Master, what is he doing?
I think so far the only thing I'm seeing is just press release.
Press release, questioning people, the money that has been disbursed to maybe the assembly to cater some things and they are not doing it with the camera on him. The right thing should be done. The right thing should be done. See, if you go to Makate Hill, the top there is a place that does not flood though. But it's only a top Monday, no.
It got flooded.
Share. A bubun for die at the top there. I only know that it is the down part because it's only like it descends to the down. But this time around, even the people at the top are not safe either. So it should tell you how serious this is.
Because the whole place is flooded. Why are you going to?
It's flooded.
Why are you going to? And you know, some people were also electrocuted.
I think that was why they turned off the lights.
Better so immediately start raining, they should off the lights.
Yeah, I think that would
because
be the best.
Charlie, people lost their life as a result of electric shock. So you can imagine. Let's look at what Baumia is saying. Baumia said they should state of emergency for flooding.
Where was he?
Talk to me, Miss Debbie.
Where was he? He's getting me angry this morning. I'm telling you.
I saw him in his black with his jacket. He went to Odona, and the comment section were not nice at all.
Stop what you are saying. That is just a political issue.
Obi said, was Odona there 8 years ago?
It was there. I see it to be a political gimmick. It is just
trying to win the hearts of people.
Exactly. That is what he is doing. Calling for a state of emergency for what? Flood.
For what? We should close down schools. The children should come home. Afenya will say the house that is flooded, where should they go to?
It's funny how some of these leaders think when they are in opposition. And I think one thing I've also realized with their leaders is I'm sorry to use this word, the reason more when they are in opposition. It's like their reason is in alignment when they are in opposition.
They are calmer.
Yes, but when they
no pressure.
Yes. And that is because they want to win you over. They want to get your vote, and immediately they come on board, it becomes a different story to tell on a different day. So you see, with what Baumia is saying, it's just for politics. He just wants a way to win the hearts of the people. I saw him walking in the mud, and then at the comment section, someone was like, when your president was flying in the air, this is what we call a leader walking. And I was like, see, we saw instances where the former president went to a place where they were eating banku on with a tree. We saw all those things. We saw things where politicians go to people's house to wash for them because they need votes. We saw things where people go to citizens' house to sweep for them. They don't even mind. There was a video during the 2024 election. I think one member of parliament went to one of the citizens' house.
Godi.
Yes, Godi. Or was she Godi money because of vote? And they do all these things because they need the vote. And you see,
they are desperate.
Yeah, Q cast them. You see, it's because say our form, and they've realized that, so they know that they will do that to win you over. And then when it's time, they'll give you plantain chips and yogurt. No, I could sell like now to. They know us. They know our weaknesses, and so they are using that to play a trick on us. So with what he is saying, calling of emergency, I don't see that to be a solution of curbing this flood. We should sit down. They should sit at the table, bring up a measure, strategic, permanent solution. What happened on Monday is a call. It's a call for us to sit down and then bring out a solution to prevent such occurrences from happening again. If not, then we are deceiving ourselves. These politicians are just finding means and ways to make headlines. That is what they are doing. And I was surprised when he said, the same person said that this flood issue shouldn't be partisan something. It shouldn't be buttressed with partisan. But Afenyo Markin is buttressing it with partisan politics. It shouldn't be buttressed, but Miracle Abaji is doing the same. It shouldn't be buttressed by your friend says Zato or whatever. He's doing the same.
Do you know that they held a press conference?
MPP?
Yesterday.
On what?
Flooded. Miss Regina, tell her.
On flood. They held a press conference
on flooding.
I was so serious.
I was searching for news and I went to see it. I was like, hey, Afenyo. Majority is that said, hey, stop the drama.
This one is plain drama.
Oh,
it's a big drama. And sometimes I wonder how come they are able to think on behalf of the people.
Right.
Hey, I don't know where they gather their survey and their info from, and they talk as if they are in the shoes of the people. But all this is camouflage. Okay, it's camouflage. We know politicians, they're equally the same. They're doing all these things because they need something. When they get it, that is when you will call pepper, that's garden egg. When they get the power, you will mix the difference between garden egg and pepper. I'm telling you. So what he's saying is just to make headline and to make it look as if he cares. You are in power for 8 years. Flood that one can't watch him. I feel like I can't watch him.
So the deadly Accra flood as recorded, has killed almost 30 people. 30 people have been reported, dead. So that means that should tell you that the rain that fell on Monday it wasn't easy at all. Wasn't easy at all. And this is from the Ghana National Fire Service, and they are calling for harsher punishment to tackle illegal waste disposal. The Ghana National Service has called for stricter punitive measures against illegal waste disposal, warning that persistent human behavior is worsening the impact of flooding across Accra. And the Assistant Divisional Officer 1, Alex Kenate, Public Relations Officer of the Ghana National Fire Service, affirmed the service commitment to responding to emergencies, but stressed that prevention largely depends on public discipline and responsible waste management. He noted that although state institutions continue to engage stakeholders and strengthen preparedness, many of the challenges being recorded during floods are man-made and avoidable. However, he questioned public conduct during emergency, arguing that irresponsible disposal of waste continues even during rescue operations. He described such behavior as deeply worrying and called for stronger enforcement measures, including sanctions that will deter offenders. He proposed community-level monitoring and whistle-blowing systems to help identify offenders, noting that enforcement alone cannot solve the problem. He further stressed that while government agencies can improve drainage systems and response mechanism, lasting change depends on public cooperation. So the Ghana National Fire Service is calling for stricter and punitive measures and also stricter punishment to deter people from disposing of waste illegally and where they are not supposed to dispose of waste. But I must commend NADMO, the Ghana National Fire Service, the Ghana Police Service for the rapid intervention they displayed during Monday flood crisis. And Miss Virginia, wasn't all rapid enough?
Oh yeah,
it was. I think it was. They did well,
and they immediately put out a phone line where you could actually call them. Yeah, so I think they really did a good job. In as much as they were going to save lives, some of them almost lost their life, but that didn't deter them. They still went ahead to do it. I also saw one video where the Ghana National Fire Service, their vehicle got stuck in the water. The place was so flooded. And some people in the comment section, see, honestly, some of the Ghanaians, excuse me to say, they are senseless.
What happened?
If you as a normal human being, you can't pass through that flood, a vehicle itself can't pass through that flood, why are they seeing this fire service personnel as Merlin? Why do they have a special powers? Bet me they are fine. So some people were like, hey, someone that come to save our life, we should come and save you. They are humans. They also need saving. The vehicle was stuck. The only thing they could do was to just stand there and watch. There's nothing they can do. This is a different case where a jana ashe and they got there without no water. But this place was flooded. The vehicle was almost losing its sight because of the flood issue, but they still had to find their way through it and go save other people. So I think this time around they've really done a very good job. Together with the NADMO personnel, they've really done a very good job. Me, if I'm doing that work, I'll not do. That day I'll stop the work.
You resign.
I will resign, because see how these people were swimming in that water.
See,
no.
At this juncture, go and learn how to swim.
Hey, so I was just imagine, what if none of these NADMO officials know how to swim? How would they save these people? How would they save them? So I think they need to also get a boat. Or the electric boats. They have an electric boat where they use
the one they use on the Adome Bridge.
Exactly.
At this juncture, we need some.
Yeah, they need. Oh, honestly, they need it. They really need it. In terms of the sunny paniguma now, what's back here now?
And I also think we should adopt the measure of the Western world. Of late, people do not use a vehicle to rescue people. They use aircraft. Then the aircraft, they just lower it down. Then they throw in, I think, rope or something to save these people. We bypass that era. The world is evolving. Sometimes I wonder what our leaders go out there to learn from other countries. I wonder. Because there is no way there will be a flood issue and then you see them in a vehicle. They use their flight. So we should have enough. We should have emergency flight. Like you see the incident that happened on August where we lost 8 gallant men. This issue is something that could have been prevented. In case see another flight, 2 or 3, then we go to save the life of these people. So it's about time, even fire outbreak. When it gets to a time that is it gets to a period where it's that heated, you don't need a vehicle. But it looks as if we are still using the old methods in the 90s. But the tax is normally here. So we are pleading they should adopt measures from the Western world, and I think that will help us.
They should adopt measures from the Western world, and as we've all advocated, human behavior, public indiscipline. When we discipline ourselves as a country, I think we will see results they will see it, and there's going to be a reduction when it comes to flood. I think that will be all for us this morning on the issue of flooding. We'll come your way tomorrow, same time. Do have a lovely day.